Signs of breakthrough with Turkey on the migrant crisis. Growth on agenda as Chinese parliament opens up.
Those were the top stories. Thank you for joining us. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, has returned to the capital this afternoon from Kigali, the Rwanda capital. The head of state was accompanied on this trip by a strong delegation, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the President of Port and Free Zones, Abubakar Umar Hadi, as well as the Minister of the Economic and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dewale. In this movement, the President Gele has had a discussion with his Rwanda counterpart Paul Kagame, where the bilateral relations between the two countries have been at the center of the discussion. In this working visit of 24 hours, the President of the Republic has also visited production factories and assemblies of 100% Rwanda computers. For this, Rwanda has offered the Republic of Djibouti and the Djiboutian investor a strategic field in the special economic zone of Kigali.
Well, in his visit, the head of state Ismail Margele visited the Posivito PGH company, which is the fourth factory for computer parts in Africa. On his arrival at the site, the president was welcomed by the director of the company, Mr. Zoran Kordik, and the Minister for Youth and New Technology. Along with his delegation, the president received the necessary explanations about the operation of the plant. Positivo PGH has an experience of 20 years in this field. The main objective is to bring the latest technology in the industry while maintaining the ease of use. It appears as one of the 10 largest IT companies in the world by distributing more than 2.5 million computers annually. According to the director of the production chain Positivo PGH, Zoran Kordik, the South American company chose to locate in Rwanda for its strong governance, its friendly environment and market access.
Development Board and the Ministry of Education. Of course, with support of the Excellency of the United States. Yes. So, is it on? Yeah. We would like to, really, it's our honor that you see what kind of educational devices we can provide and further partner with you.
Excellency, President of Djibouti, for his visit. We are extremely happy to see such a honorable guest today. Positivo BGH, it's a multinational company that is coming from Brazil and Argentina. It's a joint venture of Brazilian and Argentinian company, Positivo and BGH. And our aim to be here in Africa, especially in Rwanda, is to support and bring the education of the people in Africa to the next level. Looking forward, we also would like to bring the technology and the know-how from the different part of the world in Africa, as we truly believe that Africa is a right environment for investment. And therefore we are in Rwanda. Rwanda has an excellent, let's say, friendly environment, investment-friendly environment. Looking forward, the credentials and the knowledge that we have found here really fits our business needs and further development of African continent in how to say African continent at all.
In the economic field, the government of Rwanda has offered to the Republic of Djibouti a plot of 10 hectares. The Rwanda director in charge of the development, Mr. Francis Gattari, and the Minister of Youth and New Technology, Mr. John Philibert, were on the hand to provide the necessary explanations on the plot. The President did not fail to thank the government of Rwanda and started his desire to work for the consolidation and strengthening of bilateral relations. The Foreign Minister, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Djibouti's ambassador to Rwanda, resident in Addis Ababa, Muhammad Idris Farah, the Minister of Economic and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawali, the President of the Port and Prison, Mr. Abu Bakr Umar Hadi, and the President Advisor, Ms. Fathiya Jama, were with the President. Let's bear in mind that the Republic of Djibouti has already offered Rwanda a plot in Djibouti. This gesture symbolizes the excellent fraternal relation and friendship between the two countries.
On the occasion the head of state's visit, the President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, has offered a dinner in honor of the President of the Republic, Ismail Margeli. The President was the guest of honor at this dinner, which was dedicated to the strengthening of Djibouti-Rwanda bilateral relations. The delegations of the two countries have participated in this official dinner. This evening was animated by the traditional songs and dances of Rwanda. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Rwanda, Louise Mushikiwabo, has in her opening remarks wished a warm welcome to the invited to mark the President Gili and his delegation. She recalled the fraternal bonds that unite the two countries.
Le travail qu'on fait depuis ce matin, qu'on continue aussi demain, jusqu'au départ de Son Excellence le Président Gili.
For his part, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Mr. Paul Kagame, has indicated that the two countries have maintained not only a very narrow bilateral relation, but the two countries and people are brothers, friends, and neighbors. Let's listen to him.
Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic of Djibouti, and the delegation, distinguished delegation that came with the President, our government leaders and leaders of in the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Our foreign minister earlier on made lengthy remarks in French, but her French must be very poor because I understood everything she was everything she was saying. I didn't need a translator. But I'll make my remarks short, but in English. And Mr. President, on behalf of the government and people of Rwanda, I wanted to say we are greatly honored to welcome you and your delegation to our country. You are not quite new to our country or to this region. You are actually one of us. But we are so happy to have you with us and the whole delegation visiting tonight. As partner states in Eastern Africa, Rwanda and Djibouti enjoy strong bilateral ties. But as correctly said by our foreign minister, these ties are not just those of friendship. We are also sisters and even brothers. This visit can only advance our partnership, and particularly in trade and investment. Djibouti is a very important entry point to our region and a global crossroads in its own right. So based on the fraternal relations we have, we can also take advantage of this and expand to other relevant activities. Rwanda is keen to develop opportunities there in keeping with our desire to deepen economic integration in Eastern Africa, of which Djibouti is an integral part. Let me take this opportunity to once again, Mr. President, thank the government of Djibouti for the generous gift of land at the port. Which we look forward to exploiting as quickly as possible. And of course, we are going to work with your government, with your officials in realizing this goal. I urge our officials to accelerate the development of the site for the benefit of both countries. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to invite you to please join me in a toast, I should say, to the friendship between Djibouti and Rwanda, and to the health and prosperity of both our nations. Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
And now let's pass on to the national news. The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed has today officially opened the new building assigned to the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Family Planning. Upon his arrival, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed was warmly welcomed by the Minister of Women Empowerment, Mrs. Hasna Barkha Dawood, but also the staff of the ministerial department. Besides the Prime Minister and the Minister of Women's Empowerment, the ceremony was attended by members of the government and the many women's associations of the country. The Prime Minister, along with the Minister for the Advancement of Women, visited the diverse rooms where he discovered that all offices have been equipped with new furniture and technology materials. This new building is composed of a ground track, the direction of promoting gender and socio-economic integration. The second floor is for the child planning and communication direction. The same second floor contains the offices of the General Secretariat of the Ministry and the Director of Legal Affairs and Administration, as well as Finances. These equipment will contribute to the improvement of the working conditions, but also to achieve the objectives contained in the roadmap of the ministry. This ceremony is part of the celebration of International Women's Day, scheduled on the next March 8. In her remarks, the Minister of Women's Empowerment said that the new building will reinforce the policy of the President Ismail Margeli on putting forward women in the development of the country.
The Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, has for his part indicated his immense pleasure in the inaugurating this new building assigned to the Ministry for the Women Empowerment. This new building will fully contribute to the improvement of the work conditions and to the achievement of the objectives contained in the roadmap of the department. Has recalled that the Prime Minister, he has then stressed that the woman remains a very strong part of the country's development, and it is a measure of the head of state's policy to help that everyone, including women, can have their rights in this country, he concluded.
The Minister of National Education, Dr. Jama Al-Mawki, has today received a joint delegation of Sahara Global Education Development. And the learners were International School LWIC network in his office. The minister was accompanied by his senior staff, senior executives and officials of his department and the prefect of the region, Mr. Abdullah Didar Okiye. On the agenda, the preparations for the ceremony of laying the first stone of the International School of Africa, the first international school in Africa built by the international network LWIC, will tomorrow be under the leadership of the President, His Excellency Ismail Margeli, who will take part of this prominent event for the country in Negad. The minister and his hostess have lengthily reviewed all the aspects of the device, the field preparations and the protocol related to the words taken, presentations and exchanges during the ceremony. Discussions and exchanges also helped to put everything in order for the ceremony to be organized and to be worldwide visible.
The Balbala Association, a coordination known as CAPE, came to an end last night at Jama Outlet Field this week. Balbala was the theme relating the history of the origin of Balbala, entitled Balbala of Yesterday and Today. The goal of the week was to raise Balbala's image, to better know and show its demographic and economic dynamism. The members of the CAPE and the population of the municipality of Balbala took part in this event, rich in color, with dances and songs.
In a speech, the Minister of Budget has first congratulated the initiators of Balbala National Week. He has recalled that Allah has reminded through the verses of Quran the believers that they should know the history of their predecessors. History has said that the minister, which provides insight and analysis of not only the present but also the future. As for the Minister of National Education, Dr. Jama Almi Wakiye has especially emphasized the progress made at Balbala in terms of development and achievements in all socio-economic areas of this great town.
A team of the RTDs has today went on the cable ship with a aim to finalize the work of a landing submarine cable called the CMI and W5. It is a huge marine of more than 140 meters bridge line with a pulley of large diameter of a ballast gear in a gigantic size dedicated to a deep bottom of the ocean. With its 8 meters from a pulling weather, its 8,000 tons to empty its speed of 15 knots. The island of Sin is a vessel which poses and that repairs submarine cables for operation or large consortia who invest in the strengthening of their international connection. The ship has docked since this morning in the port of Djibouti and has therefore finalized this work with the landing of this submarine cable linking Singapore to Djibouti and serving 17 countries. Djibouti has just made a gigantic step in the quest to become a regional hub of telecommunication. The achievement of this mega project is the work of national operations in the telecommunication Djibouti Telecom. In the effect, this submarine cable is one of the keys to value of different system submarines already existing in our country. It will strengthen the interconnectivity with our partners in Europe and the East Africa.
As the 2016 election will be soon ahead of us, a fifth candidate has officially brought his candidacy folder this morning at the Ministry of Interior. The Interior Minister, Mr. Hassan Omar Mohammed, has communicated that Mr. Omar Al-Mikhairi has filed his candidacy at 10 a.m. this morning as a USN candidate for the 2016 presidential elections. The Minister of the Interior is recalling the deadline for the elections nominations is set for March the 8th at noon. Mr. Omar Al-Mikhairi was born in 1947, entered politics very early and then became a militant and activist of the youth movement known as the PMP. He becomes a member of the Liberation Front, the Somali Coast. He has been arrested and imprisoned in France. After the Republic of Djibouti has gained its independence, he became a member of the Parliament of the National Assembly. And to this day, he is the president of the United Democrats Party, known as the CDU, and the vice president of the USN Party.
Still on the national news, the wise and youth of Kartila neighborhood have launched an awareness campaign among the population and the Republic Library to encourage them to get their voter card to participate to the next election. Early this morning, the youth has visited the public library to encourage of getting their electoral cards and to fulfill their civic duties. They urge the population not to wait until the last day to retrieve their cards.
Still on the card for voters electorate, the different associations of the civil society, known as Kartila also, have organized yesterday morning a door-to-door campaign to sensitize the local population to take their electoral card in order to answer to their civic duty. The main leaders of this movement was Fadoun, a vice president, and the organizer of this campaign was Mr. Rashid Barkhad. They both were the team leaders. Kartila population have congratulated the organizers for this action, which enables each citizen to fulfill his duty. The organizers will continue this campaign until they reach the maximum voters until the election eve.
The Association Al Fawza organized this morning a workshop entitled Youth for Democracy. This workshop is organized in the partnership with the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport in the Bandur Jadid conference room. This workshop aims to encourage young people to understand the importance of civic participation in the society, but also the political life and anticipation of the next election. This meeting enabled young people to express their opinion and vision. This workshop was facilitated by the specialists in the field, namely Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim, law professor at the University of Djibouti, and Mr. Ali Hussein. This day saw the participation of Badul Hassan Badul, who expressed his appreciation for the organization of this workshop entitled Youth and Democracy. Today's youth is tomorrow futures.
In the framework of strengthening diseases surveillance system, a workshop on the introduction of the use of electronic tablets took place in Al Sabia. A team from the National Institute for Public Health, INSP, led by Dr. Yusuf Hussein Darar and several technicians, organized the training workshop on the effective use of the tablet inserted into the middle of the National Public Health in a conference room of the Palmeraie Hotel in the city of Al Sabia. The objective of this workshop was the introduction of the integrated disease surveillance from cases that are coded according to the International Classification of Diseases. This project is implemented by Public Health of the National Institute on two objectives: monitoring the epidemiology of respiratory disease and conditions, including mental health, non-communicable diseases, communicable diseases, and injuries. There may exist among the refugees and the communities living in Djibouti. The training supported by the World Health Organization, who saw the participation of senior doctors in the region, Dr. Aden Bouh, many nurses, health technicians, 2 French interns from the University of Montpellier, and other representatives of the prefecture and the local regional council.
Sport news now in the capital. The school sport tournament were played on Tuesday afternoon and Friday. The Sawyer has been the major of this tournament on Fukuzawa College field and handball categories at the high school gym. These games are aimed to promote sports among youth and create meeting space on other confrontation youth under study and firm their mind. The result of this tournament between the boys in handball disciplines, Humbuli College won the final and Gabot College went in its game to the girls has won the game against Palmeraie. The high school classes and the girls of Djibouti high schools has beaten the industrial and commercial schools by 3-0, and Balbala high schools won against the Gabot high schools by a scores of 3-1. Qualified for the handball classes is high school boys and girls team. For the football now, Gabot high schools won against industrial and commercial schools against the scores of 4-1.
The Federation of Karate, led by its president, Mr. Abdulkader Kinano, has organized yesterday morning in Arta the introductory sessions and demonstration for the fans and followers of this discipline. Young fans took advantage of the Federation members' arrival to organize this event and issued the wishes that this kind of a demonstration should be organized in Arta in the future. They thanked the Karate Federation, the session was animated by the president, Mr. Abdulkader Kinano, 15 Karate, who promised that other sessions will be organized for young people of Arta in regions where he encouraged the young people to practice in this discipline.
On the international scene now, as migrants continue to gather on the Greece's border with the former Yugoslavian Republic of Macedonia, EU leaders are hinting at some sort of a consensus on a way forward on the issues. Said Mohammed for more details.
Greece is at the forefront of the crisis, being the main entry point for thousands of refugees who continue to make the short but often perilous journey from Turkey. The EU Council President Donald Tusk held talks in Ankara on Friday and will chair an emergency summit in Turkey on Monday. He expressed cautious optimism that Turkey is starting to cooperate. Struggling Greece can't afford to bear the burden of the crisis alone, a point not lost on Greek Foreign Minister Nikos Kosias. We, both Turkey and Greece, agreed that the refugee issue is not just a Greek and Turkish issue, nor can be solved within the framework of Greek and Turkish bilateral relation alone. It is a global issue that is tormenting Greece and Turkey now and affecting the rest of Europe. Official EU statistics show a record of 1.2 billion new asylum seekers in the European Union in 2015, more than double than the previous year, almost half from Syria, Afghanistan and Iraq. The European Union is demanding that Turkey crack down on people smuggling and take back all illegal immigrants from its shore who do not qualify for asylum in the European Union. The EU Council President said there were signs that Ankara is ready to consider such move.
In China, the National People's Congress opened its annual session on Saturday. The Congress' 175-member standing committee in Beijing is in charge of legislative issues. Prime Minister Li Qiang at an opening speech expressed his confidence of realizing China's 2020 goals while fighting a difficult battle in face of tougher challenges. Let's see for more information.
The Chinese government has put forward its 5-year economic plan. Details were outlined at the opening of the National People's Congress, the country's parliament. Growth of at least 6.5%, jobs creation and restructuring efficiency industry are to be the Communist administration's main priority. While 6.5% would represent significant growth for many countries, for the world #1 economy, it would be the slowest growth in at least 25 years. Also set to go up is the population, already the biggest in the world. It is projected to increase by 45 million people by 2020. That's almost the size of Spain's entire population. Within the same period, at least 50 million new jobs in cities are planned to be created.
That's it for tonight's news. See you tomorrow at the same time, at the same channel, and the same hours. Have a wonderful evening.